you go. Mackenzie, you're gonna kick it off.
Okay.
So really you're just discussing in an informal way your thoughts and perceptions on creative thinking and critical thinking. You can talk about components, you can talk about why these skills are necessary. You can talk about, are they just so blurred that people think one is the other and it's just buzzword at this point? Anything you want. You can say these are stupid topics and doesn't matter what you say. But it does. I mean, you're going to review it and we're going to come back to it.
Okay, so it says defining critical thinking. Critical thinking has been defined in many different ways. Very broad definitions include thinking which has a purpose or a reflective judgment. However, these definitions are often too general to be useful to students. Let's begin by reflecting on some approaches that critical thinkers may or may not take to problems and issues. Read through the following statements and tick those that you think may come from critical thinkers. I hate talk shows where people just state their opinions but never give any reasons at all.
Should we go on that one line first?
Yeah, I think so, because there's like several, so I guess we can just talk about that one. So do you guys think that comes from a critical thinker or no? The line again is, I hate talk shows where people just state their opinions but never give any reasons at all.
That's not a characteristic of a critical thinker, because I would think a critical thinker would be able to absorb somebody else's thoughts, reflect on it, and then perhaps state why they disagree with it, rather than just be steadfast in their own position and not listen to outside influences.
Yeah, it seems more like a comment to me, just like something you would say kind of in passing, which is fair, but like critical thinking I think of as like, okay, I'm looking at solving a problem or looking at something, I'm talking to multiple groups, and then I'm putting together like a calculated opinion based on various sources, not just like, oh, I'm making a show about, some talk show I saw on TV,
I think you could potentially have some critical thought into it. Maybe not so much, but it might be that they're talking about, they did see a show where there wasn't much to back it up, and it seems like there are a lot of people, I don't know about shows, but there are a lot of people that say stuff without ever trying to back it up.
I agree with you, because I feel like when people are stating their opinions but they're not giving like an explanation as to why they feel that way, why they think that way, a lot of times like people can kind of misconstrue like what they're saying. So my opinion is that whoever said this, like, I feel like they do have a little bit of critical thinking, because they're wondering like where else is the other part of the information, like they want to know like why they don't like something or why they do like something. So.
I guess I'm like down the middle. I guess it depends on like, well, it's like with the idea of a talk show, you have two parties, and if one party is just like, oh, I think nuclear weapons are great, and the other one's like, oh yeah, cool. What's how's the weather today? Like like the discussion doesn't go anywhere. Like just verbally throwing out like whatever comes to mind can be a little frustrating. I guess like Facebook makes me think of that. Where it's just a stream of people just throwing something out there, and the comments never really.
Yeah, I agree with you, Zoe, because a lot of times statements are made that go unchallenged.
Yeah.
Now, facts are facts. There's not alternative facts. So, if somebody states what they call a fact, you should be able to challenge them with a well-based line of thought. Otherwise, like you're saying, on a talk show, a lot of times on these talking head shows on Sundays, all you hear is just somebody blathering on, going unchallenged, and a lot of alternative facts get stated and unchallenged. I don't think that's critical thinking.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of impressionable minds too that will like read those things and take them as like face value, like that they are facts. So they don't go beyond and like research.
I was gonna say, I think it's interesting you mentioned alternative facts, because when she was talking about just because they don't end up going anywhere, I ended up thinking about Kellyanne Conway.
Okay. The next one is, no matter how complex a problem, you can bet there will be a simple solution.
I would not agree with that.
I don't agree with that
I would not agree.
either. Maybe for some problems, but I mean, if it was that simple, like,
Yeah.
probably would already have a solution, so.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like very much critical thinking. They feel like there's always, they're saying always in a certain case, and not even like thinking through of any specific, there could be very specific problems that don't have a simple solution. They're not even thinking about it. They're just
Yeah.
trying to generalize it.
I wonder what kind of job this person has if they're willing to bet everything that there's a simple solution. Like,
Simple solutions.
hopefully they're not a
appeal to simple
doctor.
minds.
Sometimes even simple problems have complex solutions.
Yeah.
Alright, so the next one is, just because information is in a textbook doesn't necessarily mean it can be trusted.
I agree with that statement. It all depends on who's writing it. And also, like, I mean, we try not to be biased sometimes, but there's always a bit of bias that sneaks in, like with journalism. Like, you can't just, it's almost impossible to report absolutely every single thing. There's going to be omitted facts. And that will depend on who's writing the piece. Because they're the ones who decide, like, oh, that date isn't really necessary, so I'm going to leave that out. Or, like, there was a rebellion here, but that doesn't really matter to me, so I'm just going to, I don't think that has anything to do with the main part of this history, so I'm going to leave that out. And there are times where I've been through, like, history textbooks in school, and they'll spend a million years on World War II, and then they're like, oh, here's like a paragraph in the Vietnam War. Anyway, they'll just like go for it. I'm like, wait,
Right.
I didn't learn anything about that. Like,
Yeah, I went to
History?
Catholic school like my whole life too, and Catholicism isn't my practicing faith anymore. So for me, like
That was
looking
pretty
back,
effective.
looking back on those textbooks, I don't believe those. I mean, like, if you do, like, great for you, but I mean that doesn't mean it can be trusted or it's factual. So.
Yeah. I do want to say sometimes it's not always malice or bias. Sometimes it's just outdated.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be a recent book and still be outdated, especially in the field of technology. I had a class this semester that's like outdated. They're like, what browsers can you get Chrome on? Or not browsers, what operating systems. And Linux was not an option, which you can get it on Linux now. So it's like, sometimes it's just outdated.
Yeah, I think, as you were mentioning, Zoe, there's a big difference between, I would say, the exact sciences versus social sciences. And exact sciences, for instance, the whole idea of climatology. There's a fact, and a lot of the facts are established because of what they call peer-reviewed academic journals, which means you put out your idea and you put it open to challenges, scientifically based challenges, not opinionated based challenges.
Yeah.
And if you're able to prove this in what I keep calling an exact science, in other words, you can come up with a reproducible answer to a number of different dimensions of that problem, then that is obviously a provable statement. Whereas if you come up with economics, I hate economics because there's two different ways. You can always say there's 4% unemployment. Well, I know probably 5 different people are unemployed, including an oncologist who is a well-educated doctor from Stanford. Now, if you call her employed, she hasn't been working for years, but she's called a disillusioned person, not an unemployed person, which is, manufacturing those statements. So, I guess to boil it all down, just because you see it in a textbook doesn't necessarily make it true. You have to look at the peer review and the challenges that are mounted against that statement.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I had a cousin that grew up going to a Lutheran school, and she had kind of a breaking point, like her junior year of high school, where she realized that they were teaching creationism, they weren't teaching evolution, and a lot of the kids were just kind of in not zombie world, but just kind of just not even thinking about it, just whatever, this is my homework, I'm gonna read this and do this test. And she was going beyond and doing research online and all this stuff, and she was really not liking it, and she ended up transferring out to a public school, which is great. But she definitely went on her way to do critical thinking to assess what she was learning, and I'm really proud of her for doing that.
And Peter, you bring up a good point, because I think true courage is to be able to stand up when everybody else is disagreeing with you, and you know, not going with the flow. It's like, you know, there's a lot of people. It's so much easier. Everybody is experiencing where you just shut your mouth. You know, there's 99 people who are stating an opinion. You don't want to stand up and say, "Oh, well, I disagree."
Right.
But in reality, probably 97 of those other people really agree with you, but they're frightened by the majority.
Yeah, that kind of goes hand in hand with critical thinking to an extent, because there might be a period where you want to raise, you have a thought in your head that you want to raise, whether it's verbal or in an essay, and you need to have that courage to kind of step out of your comfort zone and, you know, say something that you know that your peers might not like, or maybe you'll face dissent. So.
Alright, and then the next one is, my views are probably shaped by the social and economic groups I belong to. So to me, that's obviously not critical thinking. Probably should get your own thoughts.
Well, I mean, it is kind of true that they do influence you. I mean, you might. That doesn't mean you necessarily adopt everything they say, but what you hear and what you surround yourself with, it will have an effect on what you think, I believe.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I'm just saying I don't think it's like critical thinking, especially with the verbiage. It's like my views are probably shaped. It's not very confident, you know, like these are my views, this is why I feel the way that I do. Like, yes, I associate with other people that have similar views or maybe the same views or opposing views, but I feel like it's kind of all like personal, you know, like you should know how you feel about something. You know, I'm friends with people that have different religious views than me, you know, and they have different, you know, like political views as well. But I still hang out with them, you know, I'm still associated with them. We go places in the same friend group, you know. So I feel like to me, like that this person is like not like that much of a critical thinker, you know, they're kind of like following what everybody else is.
I think that's a very subtle. If you critically think about it, we all tend to hang around people that we're comfortable with. We don't want to go outside our comfort zone. So, for instance, we don't go down to the south side and hang around, you know, the projects or anything, because that's not our comfort zone. We don't go outside of our country to a non-English speaking country because that is not our comfort zone. So we are all influenced by our own little comfort zones, and nothing's wrong with that. But if you're aware of it, you can use it to compensate.
Did we all get the same prompts? Would that be interesting?
Kind of similar.
They didn't do half the work we're doing.
I guess you can wrap it up.
Okay.
Who's going to report out? Can't be Gary, because Gary reported out last night.
Page.
Okay.
If anyone else wants to look at this stuff, it's just
And those are always loaded to Blackboard, so everybody
Okay.
has it. But thank you very much.